What's up, guys? Hi. I have not seen you guys in 2 fucking weeks. Well, I guess I've never seen you. So you haven't seen me in 2 fucking weeks. Um, Excuse my disgusting, maybe it sounds sexy. Maybe it sounds sexy to you, but excuse my raspy voice. I just got back from Vegas last weekend and I was kissing my friends, kissing strangers. I came back, cough, cough, dry throat, minor cold. Not to mention me kissing strangers at the club. Not the best decisions. I didn't say it was a good idea. Just saying it happened. Just saying it happened. Do I regret it? No, sir. But guys, look. I got my eyebrow pierced. I got my what is this called? Medusa. It has a spike on it because my ball came out, so I put a spike on it. Looks kind of edgy. I like it. I wanted to hoop over my lip, but my lips are too big for the ones that I want, so I have to go to the piercer, like an actual shop where they have, several piercings. But that's besides the story. That is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about me kissing girls in Vegas. That's a different story for another day. And we're not talking about piercings for my lips. That's a different story for a different day, okay? What we're going to talk about is why do I attract all the racists? Why do the racists want to fuck me? I don't know, man. Like for me, I don't go around like, oh yeah, I'm Cooney Baezy. I'm the cooniest of them all. Like I'm the opposite of a coon. I, talk shit on so many races. Don't jump on me while I'm streaming, baby. Stop it. Y'all look at her while she's fucking being bad. She's too fucking old for that. But anyway, yeah, no, like I literally tell all when I talk to white guys, I'm like, I don't like racists. I don't like fetishizers. I don't like guys who just talk to me because I'm black. I feel like that is so disrespectful. You know what they'd be like? I agree. I agree. I would never do that. And every single guy that's told me that, lie. Fucking lie. Don't believe fucking men up front unless they show you. Do not believe anything. I don't give a fuck if he said, yeah, I'm a certified CPR. I think he's fucking lying. The guys lie about the dumbest shit. He could lie about fucking having gas in his car. He could lie about having a cat. I've had guys literally sit in my car, look at my Dragon Ball Z sticker, do Dragon Ball Z research in front of me. I don't even watch Dragon Ball Z. But they wouldn't know that because they didn't ask. And then they'll start talking about Dragon Ball Z, saying how like they're such a bigger fan than me. And I'm like, well, you know what? You did more research than me right fucking there. I'm sure you are a bigger fan because I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z or the Dragon Ball in period since actual Dragon Ball dropped. That was 2000. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in 20 fucking years. Duh, you're a bigger fan. I just have to sticker on my car because I got it for free. But my point is, guys will lie and they'll tell you anything just to get over so they can fuck you. So that's all they wanted is that pussy. That pussy in that mouth. That pussy in that mouth. That pussy in that mouth. That's all they're worried about, man. Um, but regardless, literally, so back on sister, why do the racists want me? What I've noticed and what I've learned over the years after turning 18, because I didn't really know this before I was 18. I didn't know this was a prominent thing for the other way around. Like I knew white women prayed after black men. I knew that. I knew they had a fetish, but I did not know white people also did it as white men also did it as well until like I really actually moved to Texas. Like maybe it might have been happening in Michigan, but they never made it evident. Like I could not tell. I could not tell. But now it's like so for example, I just stopped talking to this guy like a month ago. I'm gonna call him the Viking. We're taking bong ribs at the same time. But yeah, we're gonna call him the Viking. And when we met, I was talking to him. We were having a good time. He told me he was mixed. He's Hispanic and white, and how he loves Vikings so much. And that's the reason why I call him a Viking, like, because he likes Vikings that much. He's addicted. And then I was like, I go on and I talk to him. He's like, yeah, I've only really been with people of color, melanated women. And that should have been the red flag for me, number one. But he was like, I went to an all black school. So that was just really the people I was around. So I was like, okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt for that. But then he was like, I want, interracial children. Like, I want mixed race children so they can have multiple backgrounds. And I was like, what? Like, huh? I was like, that sounds like a fetish. He was like, no, no, no. I just want my kids to be diverse. And it was like, I was like, you know what? Fine. Whatever. I guess that sounds like a fetish. But I'll let it slide. And as time went on, he would always bring up, like, I'm going to, be with a black woman, a Hispanic woman, just somebody, that's melanated. And for me, I was like, just don't make it a fucking fetish. But it was already a fetish. I just didn't really see it that way. Mind you, I am in Texas. So all the guys I'm about to mention are in Texas. And what I've learned is all the guys in Texas that have a race kink are very meticulous on ways to flip it so that you don't think that it's a race kink so that they can pursue their race kink through you. This is for, anybody else dealing with white men or just men who are not black. Because I've seen it with Hispanic men, white men, Asian men, Middle Eastern men. Like, it doesn't really matter. A race kink is a race kink. Let me take another hit. But yeah, I really started understanding he was not like for black people when he kept talking about how like black people and white people have been have police brutality the same, if not white people have been brutalized by police more. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, and then he was like how his grandpa's racist or says racist shit, but he's told him to stop. And I was like, well, you shouldn't be talking to black people because if your grandpa's racist and you're going to keep him in your life, you shouldn't allow black women to, be basically hate crime or feel racism towards them. That's not something, that black people want to deal with. And he was like, well, if it was me, I would just I'm stronger than that. And I was like, you're not black. Like, you don't understand how it feels. And he's like, well, I'm part Hispanic. And I was like, but you're white passing. So you still don't understand how it feels. And then he's just like, he's not going to cut his grandpa off because his grandpa's rich and his grandpa's old and he's not going to fix him. He can't fix him. But to me, I'm like, Jane Elliott is 80 and she's not fucking racist. So what is the excuse? And she also grew up when Martin Luther King was like active, when Martin Luther King died, when black people got civil rights. So it's really funny how like they can't change, but there's so many of them who never started off that way. You know? But either way, after that, I cut him off and I realized that's one guy with a race kink. That's one racist because he's a racist. You're over here pursuing black women, but you don't want to protect the black women. You feel like you're brutalized more than black people. So you're playing the victim when you know good and well you are literally the golden standard in the United States. Like it's so many red flags that give me racist fetishizer. And then when I fucked that one guy that had all that military gear, when I first met him, way before I even fucked him, like as soon as I met him, he told me he only talks to black girls. He loves black girls. And I said, don't say that. And he was like, why not? And I was like, that sounds horrible. That sounds like a race fetish. He was like, no, I just have trauma. And then I let it slide. Like I'm always letting it slide because these guys always have a fucking excuse for their race fetishes. But at this point, there is no excuse. There's no fucking excuse. But after that, I did end up fucking him a couple times, but then he kept actively telling people, I only fuck with black women. I only talk to black people, like sexually. And then my friends were like, that's weird. And I was like, yeah, you need to stop saying that. But my last straw, and when I really knew that man was racist, is when I asked him to show me this proof of him not being a fucking predator on his computer. And he said, well, all I have in my computer is cosplays and blacks. And if nobody knows, calling somebody blacks is the same as calling them colored, which is the same as calling them the N word, which is the same as calling them like fucking Aunt Jemima. Like, it's a slur. It's a slur. Okay. And at that point, I was fed up. I knew he was a racist and a fetishizer because he also just kept bringing it up when he talked to his own people. And I was just like, yuck. And then my last straw, when my eyes really fucking opened up, was after like 3 days of me cutting the Viking off, the first guy I mentioned. 3 days later, this older white guy hits me up and he's like, I would love to hang out with you. I would love to spend time with you. Da da da. And he was like 50, and I was like, okay. And I asked him how old his children were, and his children were older than fucking me. And I was like, how would your children feel about that? And he was like, oh, well, they know me. I'm a single father. They understand. I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I love like younger black women. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, like I used to talk to black women in school, and I just love young black women. I love melanated skin. And I was like, what? That sounds like a race kink. He was like, no, no, I talk to other women. I just really appreciate black women. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, honestly, I used to talk to this girl when she was like 16. I was like, how old were you when she was 16? And he was like, I was 18. And I was like, uh huh. And it was just 3 red flags within 30 seconds of the first conversation. Like, all we were doing was talking on the phone. And it was red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. After that, I told him I had to go. Never spoke to him again. Never spoke to him again. Because I'm not going to go around listening to the fetishizers and then trying to let them fetishize me and then use my body when I hate racist. I don't support it. I'm not Uncle Tom. And I'm not even into race play. I despise race play. I don't like it. It's triggering. It disgusts me. It does not turn me on. I don't like that. I don't like that. So for me, it's like, you know, and honestly, what I've learned is like living in Texas, people here, like, there's maybe two types of racists. The ones that I've seen are blatant racists, like saying the N word. They hate you. They look at you. They're making dirty looks. Blatant racists. Then you have strategic racists, which are business racists who are only racist behind closed doors, but in public they're like, oh, I'm for the coloreds, for the people, for them all. Sometimes, just business racists. Um, and then you have people who literally do not know they're racist. And they're fucking racist. They're saying racist shit all the time. And they're like, what's the problem? Like, I don't see the problem. And they seriously don't. And most people who are race kinks don't see the problem. They're like, I'm fucking you. I'm giving you my dick. I'm giving you the semen. I've complimented your black skin, your black pussy. And your black pussy needs white dick. It serves white dick. What's the problem? And that's how they think. And for anybody who doesn't understand, that is disgusting. That is not okay. Because race kinks literally came from raping somebody and bringing up their race in it. Because you're, one, in slavery, obviously, black people were enslaved. So when the master would rape the black women, they would say racial slurs at them. Like, you black bitch, you black little slut, da da da. So as it progressed and people, you know, grew, now it's, you're going to take this black dick. I mean, not black dick, white dick. with this black pussy, da da da. But it literally is from slavery. It's from slavery. It's from raping slaves. It's the same thing with white women being obsessed with black dicks. It's because they used to castrate black men and put their dicks in a jar and put it on a shelf so they could stare at it in amazement because they were so obsessed with it. So yeah, I don't see race fetishes as okay at all. I feel it's really destructive and very unhealthy, especially for black people, both black men and women, because you see what it has black men catching cases left and right in college for fake rape cases because they're so addicted to chasing a white girl that only wants to use them for gain, literal gain, nothing else. Maybe like athlete kids, but that's still a gain. But another thing is I had the sugar daddy. He's not gonna be my sugar daddy anymore because he's annoying as fuck. And he was asking me if I was into a race play, and I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, too bad because I want you to serve me. And I was like, so be a slave, basically. Like you want me to be a slave. And he's white, so it's like, oh, surprise, surprise, surprise. A white person wants me to serve them. And it's just so disgusting. He's like, oh, well, too bad. No, perfect. Not bad. Bad for you because you can't be a slave owner. But great for me because fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. So it's so disgusting how many white people come to me trying to play out their racist fantasies and then get mad at me when I call them out on their shit. But, that is the disadvantage of living in a red state. A lot of people here are literally stupid. They're uneducated. They don't teach critical race theory here. They are taking out most of the history about anything having to do with slavery, black people gaining rights, um, anything black, even black books. Black authors can't even be here. So it's a fucking mess. With that being said, I'm gonna be more cautious in my sex life. I haven't even had sex in a month. I haven't had sex in a month. I've barely been talking. Like, I talk to guys here and there, but I haven't had sex. After I stopped talking to that one racist guy a couple weeks ago, I played with my pussy for a week straight, non-stop. I mean, I was masturbating 3 to 5 times a day. And I had to stop masturbating because I just couldn't feel my clit after a while. So I stopped. But yeah, I'm better now. I haven't masturbated in a week, and I feel like reborn. Like I feel like I'm a virgin now. I feel like a virgin. I feel reborn. I'm really hungry for a certain type of man. A really muscular, 6 foot plus, uh, thick, big dick, sexy man with a deep voice to destroy me. That's what I'm looking for. And I've been so you know, fastened on this uh fantasy that I haven't really wanted to fuck anybody else. And if they give me broke, disgusting vibes of not being able to afford me or just afford my lifestyle and be a provider for me and they just want to fuck, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to just fuck anymore. I've been doing that for like 3-4 years. I'm done. I'm tired. This pussy is ready to be beat by like 5 people on a regular, okay? Not 55 a month. Just 5. But with that being said, let's take one last blow. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. I forgot to breathe out. Oh, fuck. And don't make fun of me for my fucking bong. I don't feel like cleaning it. I'm gonna clean it when I feel like it. Okay? I don't need you bum cleaners coming for me and making fun of me. But I will say, after this, I'm gonna go live on Kick, and we're gonna do a just chatting stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed my podcast episode. I'm gonna start pre-recording because I pre-recorded this before Friday, so that I can actually have episodes out for you. Because usually I would record on Friday or Thursday night, but that just hasn't been working out for me, obviously. So I'm gonna pre-record really early in the week, and then give you guys a feed. So next week we will be talking about the time this guy what would you say, fetishized me as being a 16-year-old virgin. Sounds ballistic. That's how I felt in the moment too. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye.